This is the Tom Sauve short game summary. So, first of all, we'll start off with just an aiming stick here. I'm going to talk about bounce. So if you come in here and the club face is nice and square, you might see there's not a whole lot of space from the leading edge to the stick. Okay, now if I open it up just a little bit, see how that toe's moving to the right? So now there's a little space underneath that stick in the club face. What that does is that allows the club to slide along the ground, not dig in. If it's turned like this, it digs in. If it's this way, it'll slide. Okay? So, take a look at this. If I've got that blade open a little bit, and I come in, I keep it that way, it slides. It doesn't dig. Okay, so it's a really nice insurance policy to not dig in. So every time you get the club up here, first thing you do, open it a little bit, then we can go on from there. Now, I always like to chip from an open stance, meaning this foot's pulled back a little bit. Coming at you, see I pull that foot back. But if I open up my stance, I still have to square off my hips. If you're open like this, you can cut across it, or you try and go this way. See, that club goes way outside. You're going to cut across it, or like I said, you're open like this and you can whip it around like that. So first order of business is make sure your hips are square. So what I'll do, this also ties into the ball position. So if there's the ball, let's get your feet together first and everything's square. Then you can go step and keep that ball in the middle. Now you can open your feet up and then you get a feel for how those hips are still square. So if I'm here, I'd go step. Then if I want to open it up a little bit, I'm here. Then I still keep that hip in here. Now why do I want to open up? Well, it's about 3 or 4 really good reasons to open up your stance. First of all, when you're open a little bit, you can get the impact sooner. You can get this hip out of the way. That's 1. 2, when you're open a little bit, there's a lot more torque on this leg and it forces the club straighter back. If you're here, it might flow inside too much. So if you have a straighter back takeaway, come into the ball, you're a little more accurate. Versus if it comes inside, like so, now you got to really turn those hips. It's a lot of work to get the ball that way. You can see it's harder to make good contact too because you're juggling a lot of balls that way. Now, on top of that, you come in open before you get your ball position, chances are it's going to be too far forward in your stance. Now if I turn my feet like this, oh boy, yeah, that's way too far out there, holy cow. So that's why you got to get in here first, to your stance, open it up and away you go. So now with that said, once this hip's in here, you got a lot of torque on it. When you come back, you build torque and energy on this leg, and you can release it through there. Okay, so I step up in here, face slightly open, step, ball's in the middle, open stance, corkscrew that right leg in. Now when I come through, got some torque, push it through. And what I mean by that is when you got torque in here, so you can keep this whole triangle moving through there. A lot of times people say, oh yeah, in the short game, weight forward, hands ahead, no lower body movement. Well, that's good if that's like a first-time skier instruction. Oh, snowplow, so you can go down the hill. Well, try that on an advanced run, and you're going to be doing tumbles down the hill. People are going to pick up your skis and hand them to you later. So, yeah, weight forward, hands ahead. That's okay. You see how I chunked that? It's a very hard way to play unless you're first starting and you want to get the ball up in the air. So what we do is we work on setting up in here, so then you can feel the weight transfer. And I shouldn't say as much weight transfer as just spinning. You can feel that torque in here, and you can feel this chest moving through. So if you look at that, when I come through, look at that triangle that I maintained all the way through the shot. And from a nervous system standpoint, that's so stable. It's like, oh wow, look at that. Turn through, there. Versus getting all your weight over here, and then where's that triangle going to go? It's going to get stuck in the ground. Then you got to pull up like this, or scull it, or chunk it. So, with that said, I'm going to repeat myself again. Ball in the middle, step, shimmy open, corkscrew that right leg in. Feel like you're set up just a little bit behind it in here. When you come back, you get energy on that leg. You can move that chest through. There's that hold position there. Now, wait a minute, Tom, we set up so much back in here. How are we ever going to hit that ball? It's going to hit it straight up in the air or chunk or skull it. No, because this chest is moving through. Now we can hit a knockdown shot from there. So if you look at this, that's why it's important to go here first. Then I can go step only. See where the ball is now? Well, back in my stance. So now it's back in my stance, so you have a lot more shaft lean like this. A lot more shaft lean means that when you grip the club, you're probably going to have your grip a lot farther over. Okay? You're going to have to. If you keep it in the same spot and you put it back in here, you're going to have this bowed looking wrist action, or you're just going to come through and hit it wide open like this. And then you blade it with an open club face over the green triple bogey. So whatever direction you move the ball, you move your hand that same way. Ball to the right, left hand to the right. So now I'm here. You got that cork screwed in. Now when I do this shot, I can hit that nice little knockdown shot. So I'm back in here, shaft lean, stronger grip, turn all the way, boom, there's that nice knockdown shot. There, boom, there it is. And you can even, with that, you can put it in a pretty nasty lie, but when you get that downswing wrist cock, that's what you're offering the ball, more clip face. There we are. With that lie, you can still get it out of there. Now, we've got also a bump and run type shot. And usually you'll use that from when you're closer to the green. And so what we want to do is we have to take our wrists out of it. We can't have a lot of wrist cock assembled and then not use it. So what you do is you bring your hands up like this. You don't have to be all the way up. You don't have to look like a praying mantis. Oh, I got no wrist cock. You just minimize the wrist cock by bringing it up. Now that club stays more in front of you the whole way. So now it's more like a putting stroke that you just fly in the first few feet. Okay? And you're guaranteed for that to run out a little bit. When your hands are up, you have this more one lever type swing, the ball will tend to roll. When your hands are down and you have a steeper attack angle, you can put some spin on the ball and then you don't know whether it's going to bite or roll out, because you can't depend on spin as much as it can depend on roll. Alright, so you're up in there. And I love this dead-handed shot because it's just back and forth. And the same thing on the weight applies here. Oh yeah, you're supposed to have 60% or 70% weight here. Yeah, that's fine. You're still going to probably go back to 50-50 and then back over. So there's always movement in your swing, and if there's movement, that keeps your arms relaxed, and you can control it a lot better when they're relaxed versus 60-40, 70-30. That's hard. But if you're in here and you go, okay, 60-40, 50-50, 60-40, we got some flow in there. This can work. Okay? Got my assistant here. She's trying to help me out on this shot. So there we go. Step, step. Get a little closer together. Open. Hands up. Rock those shoulders. There you go. And one last thing on this bump and run is people try and get just perfect, just right on the ball and the ground at the same time. Well, you can catch it a little higher and you can just run it through there. So if you're up a little higher on the ball like so, as long as you move through it, as long as you move through the ball instead of trying to get underneath it, it's going to go. That one looked like I probably tried to get underneath it. So see what happened. Not good. Up in here, step, step, a little open, hands are up, rock it through, just hit somewhere, not on the ground, just through that ball, you get the run out. So that's the chip and run, that's the pitch shot, that's the knockdown shot. Look at that again, you're rolling. Sand later. See you later.